What's up guys? Thanks for checking out my channel. Like I'd said before, I just wanted to take a chance and sit down and tell you what I've been up to for these past 6 months. You know, the last videos I posted up until recently were way back in April, and so a lot has happened since then. You know, we've had spring, summer, all the car events, you know, car season and everything. At the beginning of May, I went to Los Angeles for some business-related stuff, but while I was out there, I also went to Cars and Copters in Huntington Beach, and that was really cool. You know, just like rows and rows of just hypercars, and it was a really cool setting too, being right there on the coast, on the beach, made for really great photos. So I'll include some of them right here. And then at the end of May, I actually did my first actual track day in my own car, and that was a blast. Up until then, the only real track driving experience I had had was back a couple years ago when I did the exotics racing experience out at Auto Club Speedway in Los Angeles. They had a circuit course out there that they ran the cars on, and I got to drive an Audi R8 V10, Ferrari 458, and a Porsche GT3. That was back in 2015, and since then I've really wanted to do more track events and track driving. And so I actually found out about the SCCA Track Night program a little while back. But they had an event at Heartland Park in Topeka, Kansas in May, and I signed up for that, and it was a blast. It's so addictive. You know, once you drive on a track and drive your car flat out, just push it to the limits, you just want to keep getting better and better and doing more events. That was kind of a kickoff to my summer, and I did some more events later on too, but I kind of want to try and keep stuff in order for now. And then in June, I hosted a car show called Oddballs and Obscurities, celebrating quirky cars. And I do client work for the museum, so I do their social media, photography, I help with their events, you know, the planning, promoting, all of that kind of stuff. But this car show I actually ran 100%. It was all mine from the beginning, from the idea to the promotion to the actual, you know, day of activities. The theme of the show was weird cars and interesting cars, you know, stuff you don't normally see, kind of oddball stuff. I actually drove a Prowler out there. I do client work for Crest Auto Group, and Pete actually had a Prowler at the time and was nice enough to let me take that to the event. So I got to drive a Prowler for about 24 hours, and it was quite an experience. It was definitely the most attention I've ever gotten in a car, and you know, I've driven supercars on the street and all that kind of stuff, but this bright yellow Prowler, just everybody was taking photos of it. People were turning their heads in traffic to look at it, but it was fun. I definitely wouldn't own one, but it was fun to drive for 24 hours. And so that show, I heard a lot of really good feedback, and so we're gonna do that again in 2019, so stay tuned for that. And then at the end of June, I actually got to check out the goldRush rally in person for the first time. I've known about it for a couple years, and they actually stopped through St. Louis on their way. I got to see their cars at a couple different places, and it was just fun to be around, and I know there's just so much crazy stuff that they do, all the crazy cars, and just the whole atmosphere is just insane. At the beginning of August, I went back out to St. Louis for Formula Drift. They had an event at Gateway Motorsports Park for the very first time, and so I was really happy that they came to the Midwest. Normally they're either on the coasts or, you know, Texas or Florida or, you know, Los Angeles, that kind of thing. So really hoping they come back next year in 2019. I used to shoot some of their events for From City to Circuit, which is my automotive media and lifestyle brand. So I would, you know, travel and do motorsports photography. And Formula Drift, those were some of the events that I shot sometimes, so it was always a blast. But it was fun to go back because it had been a couple of years since I'd been to an event, so I'll include some of the footage here. So then in August, I did my second track night at Heartland Park, and I got faster, you know, I was timing myself. Like I said, it's addictive, and so I had done my second track night, and so I wanted to do something more competitive and where I could really see, you know, if I'm improving, something that's timed. Because the track nights, they're mainly just for fun and for practice. And so after doing that second track night, I just really wanted to do something competitive and kind of take my driving to the next level. And so I signed up for my first SCCA time trials event at Hallett Raceway in Jennings, Oklahoma. And that was at the beginning of September, and that was my first time actually doing a competitive track event. And it's not wheel-to-wheel racing, it's a time trials event, but you are out there with other people and there's open passing. So it was an experience. It went really well actually, and I was very happy with how I did and just how everything worked out. They ran the course backwards, which is something they don't normally do at Hallett. And Hallett is already, a really technical course, and so it just made it even more challenging. But it was a lot of really good practice and experience. And so I definitely, it's like I said, it's addictive. So now after doing that event, you're looking, you're thinking in your head about like, what if I get a truck and a trailer and I can, drive around and compete at different events and stuff like that. But it's definitely a slippery slope. So those were kind of my highlights from the past 6 months. I've still been doing all of my client work for Stephen Cook Media. I've still been running Kansas City Cars and Coffee, which has been going awesome, and just a bunch of other little things. So I can include some of that extra stuff here. But anyway, it feels good to be back vlogging, and I think I'm gonna stick with it this time and not just give up on it so fast. But anyway, I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you checking out this video and taking a look at my channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video.